Hello folks, and welcome to another video. I hope this one finds you well and enjoying the 33rd Olympiad over there in Paris. I've got a Freeware Friday episode for you today. Just noticing that these two fellas are, well, I think they're rather well acquainted, you might say. It's quite an intimate shot. I'm not sure why we need two of them. I suspect that this guy could be at risk of serious injury if this guy lets go of the brakes. What do you reckon? But, geez, there's not much space between them, is there? Very comfortable with each other indeed. Eh? Nothing wrong with that, folks. Folks, the subject of today's video is not two rampagents, which look to be on friendly terms, but this aircraft on thy screen. Yes, this is a Lear 45. Bit of freeware, hence the Freeware Friday episode. And it's been released by a guy who's released a couple of other freeware bizjets. I think he's got a Challenger 600 or 650 or something in the collection, and he's got another Lear. I think he's got the Lear 40, and this is the Lear 45. We'll have a look at the details of this aircraft, or at least as much as the author has provided on the .to. What I understand is that this is an X-Plane 11 model that's been converted for use over here in the Microsoft Sim. So if you're in the market for a Lear 45 and you want to kind of reminisce of the good old days of earlier versions of the Microsoft Sim, you recall that in Flight Sim, what was it, 95, 98, 2000 maybe, something like that, we had a Lear 45. Well, we now have yet another Lear 45 here in the 2020 rendition of the... Oh, sorry guys, I feel like I've caught you at a bad time there. Jesus. Anyway, we're going to take it for a flight, folks, and in the spirit of the times, as the Paris Olympics unfold, week one, as I film this, week one, what we call Aussie Week, the Australian team generally does pretty well. We're kind of near the podium generally for a few days at least in week one, while the swimming's on. And while the cycling's on, and a few other events. We've got a very talented team. We come from a nation with a lot of sporting cred, but week one is our week in the swimming, in the Olympics, mainly because of swimming. As it gets into week two and the track and field starts, well, the Aussie tilt, she starts to falter a bit and we drop down the rankings. But we're going all right so far, from what I can tell. Anyway, folks, I'm going to get this thing... Well, I'll jump inside in a minute. First of all, I'm going to show you the flight plan. Then we'll jump inside, have a quick look. We'll take this thing for a flight. I haven't flown it, don't know much about it. I'm going to guess at a whole lot of stuff. It's a typical video here on the channel. If you're interested in seeing what this aircraft looks like, flies like, my perspective on same, then stick around. If not, switch channels. Go and watch bloody swimming or something over there at the Olympics. Anyway, for the rest of you, let's have a look at the flight plan. Alright, so here we are in little nav map. We're in Europe today, folks. We're heading towards Paris, gay Paris. But we begin our journey in Switzerland, a little place called St. Gallen Altenhain. I'm sure I've absolutely mangled that pronunciation, but yeah, on the shores of... I know this is Lake Constance. What's this? Bodensee Obersee. What does that mean? Everything's Bodensee. Is this not Lake Constance? And I've got my lakes mixed up. That's not the only thing I've got mixed up, folks, but anyway, that's where we begin our journey. And we've got a shortish flight of 300 odd miles via some airways and VORs and stuff like that. We're kind of heading in a westerly direction, overhead Zurich, and then we've got the Luxil, is that how we pronounce that? VOR? LUL, anyway. Into France proper, of course. Another VOR, which would be the Troyes, Troyes, something like that, folks. If I keep going, I'm bound to get it right. Before we arrive into Paris itself, and we're going to touch down at Le Bourget, or as we say here in Australia, Le Bourget. Le Bourget. That's our flight, folks. Here in the Lear 45. Let's jump inside, have a quick squiz at the VC and what it has to offer, and then we'll get underway. All right, so welcome to the virtual cockpit here of the Lear 45, folks. The background sounds you hear are the voices in my head. Only joking. You don't want to hear the voices in my head, folks. It'd be something like, Friday the 13th. Something like that. The background sounds, the cabin sounds, and other sounds are provided by FS Realistic for your auditory pleasure. This is the VC of the Lear 45. I don't know what's going to happen when I turn the batteries on, so I might do that. And the avionics come on. Here we go. Ah, right. So it's like a bastardised, the Proline from the CJ4, etc. that comes up. Now we do have a flight plan. Well, it says no flight plan. And where's the flight plan? Down here. I'm hoping that it's sort of come in. I'll do that off camera, folks. All right, I do have a flight plan sort of saved. I just wanted to show you this is the VC. How authentic this is to the real Lear 45, I don't know. But I think to the author's credit, he's made an aircraft which is a Lear 45-ish. It's freeware to create something that is truly authentic to a Lear 45. I would guess would take years and a team of people. This is available freeware for your enjoyment. If you can kind of suspend your disbelief a little bit, you might be able to enjoy this. The purpose of making these Freeware Friday episodes is to show my gratitude to our freeware development community and to make you, the viewing audience, aware of what's available. It's not really to make too much or give you too much of an opinion in terms of quality and that sort of stuff, right? But this is what you get, right? It is a VC which is modelled. Now, before you start, nitpicking about texturing and all that sort of stuff, it is what it is, folks. All right, if you don't like it, don't download it, don't fly it. Dislike the video if you so see fit. I don't really care, but this is what you get. Right, now, there is a cabin modelled. If I click that, I'm going to jump into the cabin like this. Right, now I don't know whether anything's animated here. You get some seats. Nice, isn't it? Hey, you got a cabin modelled. That's more than you get in some aircraft. It's more than you get in some of the stock aircraft. A certain business jet. Won't mention any names. But if you like your cabins and all that sort of stuff, well, you've got one for what it is. All right, no overhead in the Lear 45. Nothing up there. All the switches are down sort of here. Got a view set up there. Can I get rid of the yoke? Doesn't seem so. All right, but I can see all the switches down there. That's what you get. I'm guessing that the Lear 45 IRL doesn't feature this avionics setup. I'm guessing, but I wouldn't know. Autopilot panel, yep. Everything else, look, that's what you get. I'm going to get it started somehow. I may use Control E, folks. I don't know. I'm going to give it I'm going to take an educated guess on how to start it. If not, Control E is your friend and my friend as well. I'll get us powered up out onto a runway, and we'll head towards Paris, hopefully in time to catch some of the finals of the swimming. Alright, so as you can see, engine start has been achieved. I didn't need to resort to Control E. Pretty simple startup procedure. Light the igniters, press start, shit happens. Pretty simple, folks. Got a couple of views set up here. We'll take the taxiway. We're going to depart runway 10, and we've got an early... I feel like I've made a wrong call here. That's the runway over there on the left. This taxiway is going to take us towards the Stadler building, which is probably not where we want to be, right? And there's people, good people working at Stadler might be a little bit concerned to see a Lear 45 heading their way. So we're going to go around. Hey, listen, we're flying a Lear 45. We're going to show it off a bit, hey? And we'll keep an eye on our two friends over here. Although there seems to be only one now. The other guy got done sniffing his ass. And, well, it's probably gone inside to freshen up. Anyway, we will try this again. There we go. As I said, folks, engine start has been achieved. Oh, look, I enjoy myself, folks. You know, I know these are not professionally made videos. But, look, if you're a long-time viewer here of the channel, first of all, can I just say thank you? And second of all, can I say sorry? But if you are a long-term viewer, you probably know what you get here, eh? Just like there's a certain YouTube content creator who has to announce that he's an airline pilot at the start of every video. Well, you know what you're going to get with that bloke as well, right? He's doing alright, isn't he? Eh? He's got lots and lots of subscribers. I don't watch a lot of his stuff, but every time I kind of stumble across one of his videos, his subscriber count has increased considerably, and he makes a lot of videos. I don't know how he has time to actually fly IRL, just quietly. But anyway, here we are, folks. We're going to line up runway 10. We've got flaps 15. I don't know whether that's the done thing in the Lear, but that's what I've done. Sounds-wise, it sounds like the CJ4 for mine. No surprise there. That's my interpretation of it. Yeah, CJ4 avionics as well. CJ4 sounds. How it actually flies, we'll find out. Heading sync, does that not work? It does. Right, so we've got a very early left turn over here, over the lake. It is Lake Constance, but in German it's Bodensee. So, my earlier confusion, I've sorted that out. Sorted myself out, folks. Right, we've got some V-speeds plugged in here. VR 106. We've got local barrow set 1024. We're going up to 330. We're barring up. We've got flaps. We've got trim. Should we do this thing? Let's see how we go. Here we go. Our ITTs are pretty high already at idle. We're going to bust through those ITT limits without any dramas. Righto, into the takeoff kind of mode. Here we go. We've got acceleration. Yep. Righto, airspeed's alive. Didn't notice what the wind's doing here. Doesn't really matter. Too late now, fella. Right, we'll rotate about here. Here we go. Oh, she wants to fly. She's very weird in pitch. Okay, I feel like I've got the bobbies. That's weird. I'm going to take gear up. Okay, quite a strange rotation there. She's accelerating away nicely. We'll get rid of some flaps as well, and away we go. We might come back on the power into the climb detent, so to speak. Early left-hand turn. She feels pretty nimble in roll. Accelerating away up through 230 now. We'll get Georgie doing some flying before too long. Just want to have a little bit of hand flying experience. Feels incredibly sensitive in pitch. We're bobbing around there all over the place. She's accelerating, isn't she? Look at that, up through 245 now. 15 degrees nose up. We're climbing at a leisurely 6,000 feet a minute. Trying to sort of maintain the magenta here as we turn around to the west. Beautiful day in this part of the world. Just a shout out in the comments if you happen to hail from this region. Well, basically anywhere in Europe. I know there's a few of you out there. If you happen to be attending the Paris Games, oh, special shout out. Lucky buggers. Righto, there's 250. We're going to just easily bust that. We need to keep that climb rate up around 5,000 or above to stay under 250. Holy shit. There we go. Alright. We'll kind of roll out about there. We've done alright in the turn. Yeah, overspeed. That was always a danger. Bloody Nora. Alright. What we might try and do is we'll get some heading bug aligned. Now, what happens if I hit speed? It goes very quiet. Auto throttle's kicking in. What's happening here? Speed. How do I know what speed I've plugged in? heading? Your damper should have been on autopilot. What happens if I hit autopilot? It's going to bring me around towards the magenta. Yep, okay, there's LNAV. 250 knots. How do I increase the speed? Probably should have hit flight level change, shouldn't I? There we go. Goes quiet. Let's cruise from this point up to about 290. Forgive my fumbling here, folks. First time flying the aeroplane. Looks a bit different to the old CJ4 in terms of the panel. We're on the magenta. I think we're in a bit of trouble if we're on the magenta. I don't know what's happening down here. Where's my zoom thing? Here? We've got a problem here. I actually want to go heading mode because I want to come out towards Ronga. Come out towards Ronga. We'll duck down here. It's gone quiet again. Check speed. Yeah, whatever. Where's flight plan? Where's next on the flight plan? What are we doing here? Next is here. Actually, I'm going to go direct Degas. How do I go direct Degas? Degas. No. Get rid of that message. No. Right. How about I go LNAV from here? It should take me towards Degas. There we go. It knows what I want to do. Smart aeroplane. Take an external for you. There she is. Overlay constants. Bolton C, if you prefer. There we go. We're safely away. It wasn't pretty. We're fumbling our way through, but we are safely away. I'll join you again in the cruise, folks, and we'll have a look at the .to page for this aeroplane before we set up for an approach into Paris. And welcome to the cruise. Flight level 330, somewhere here in Swiss airspace. Everything going reasonably well. That's a weird view, little bump that comes with FS Realistic. Yeah, we're sort of cruising around Mach 0.75. Flight level 330, as I mentioned. We're battling a pretty strong old headwind here of about 40 knots on the nose. Won't take us long to get to Paris. 37 odd minutes currently forecast. Yeah, look, everything's going all right. If you don't mind it sounding like you're in a CJ4, and you can kind of suspend your disbelief about some of the, realism factors here on the panel and that sort of stuff. And there's some weird stuff going on down here for me. There's nothing happening here on the right hand side for mine, even though the mouse keyboard input active, okay, but I haven't been able to activate any of this stuff. It feels like you get a modified CJ4 box as well. I could be just user error, alright, but yeah, apart from that, Lear 45. Let's have a look at the page on the .to to see exactly what you get from the author's mouth. Alright, here we are. .to. I'll line this up a bit for your visual ease of processing it. The Lear 45 page, here it is. It will be linked to it in the description, folks. Some images at the top, as you generally expect. 6.8 thousand total downloads for this guy, Robert SV, or is it Roberts V? One of those two, folks, will be correct. Enjoy the high performance and luxury of the Bombardier Learjet 45 in the Microsoft Sim, ideal for corporate travellers. With a range of 2,000 nautical miles, that's decent. Seating for 8 passengers, this jet offers speed and efficiency. Anyway, this is the actual author's words. Hey everyone, this is version 1. I converted it from my own never-released X-Plane 11 model to the Microsoft Sim, and we thank you for doing so, mate. High performance light business jet. Yeah, he released the Lear 40 earlier. Some specs about the Lear 45 for what it's worth. You get 3 liveries with it. The Gamma Aviation, that's what you're seeing in this video, folks. The Luxembourg Air Rescue and a Ryanair as well. Don't expect 100% perfect replica of the real plane. I think that's important to mention. I've modelled the essentials for a nice virtual flight, and I think you've done pretty well. The exterior has all the standard animations and lights. The virtual cockpit is modelled after the Lear 45 with buttons and screens in the correct places, using the working title 21 PFD, MFD and FMCs adjusted for the Learjet speeds. Okay. Note this may affect CJ4 speeds. Okay. Just be aware of that. I'll try and fix this in future. Not all buttons work, but the aircraft is very usable for flights. I tend to agree so far in my experience. Then he's got some tips about how to start and stuff. It's really easy. And other operational aspects, some speeds. Well, the box calculated the speeds for me. So World VREF 125, 130, that's the plan. Some livery support is appreciated. Yeah, there you go, folks. There'll be a link to it in the description. If you're on the market for another Freeware business jet, go and check out the Lear 45. I'll next see you closer to our destination, which is Le Bourget in Paris. And welcome to the concluding stages, folks. We're just down through flight level, well, not flight level, down through 8,000. Kind of about 20 miles or so to the east of Paris at this time. We're setting ourselves up for a visual approach down to runway 03 at Le Bourget. The descent has been pretty good in terms of delivering on expectations. I was in VNAV for a while and it kind of managed that quite nicely until old mate El Capitan here decided to mess around with the flight plan and take out some waypoints, and well, things got a little bit messy VNAV wise, but we're back in vertical speed mode now. About 18 miles from touchdown, down through 6.8, speeds down to 235. All is well. Weather's nice here in Paris this afternoon. Very nice indeed. So yeah, pleased with the descent, and overall pleased with this bit of freeware. We are fortunate to have an active freeware development community in the both the Microsoft Sim and the X-Plane Sim. Those of you that indulge in the other sim, and I occasionally visit X-Plane when there's an update. I tend to install that and go for a fly, but there's just something brings me back here to the Microsoft Sim, something compelling. I've just got too many aeroplanes. I guess it's familiarity now. Part of it is visual as well, can't deny that. But yeah, sim agnostic in general here. I just have very limited time to indulge in this hobby that we all share, and so if it's a question of the Microsoft Sim versus the X-Plane Sim for me, having to make a choice, the Microsoft Sim wins out 95% of the time. Thank you, Georgie. So Le Bourget is somewhere over there, behind the panel. Paris in front of us, folks. Beautiful Paris. Frame rate wise, it's held up pretty well, as you would expect a freeware aircraft. I'm going to go autopilot off at this point and also get that flight director off. Down through 230 knots. No problemos. Paris in front of us. Paris everywhere around us, really, surrounding us. Beautiful Paris. Alright, 4,000 feet. Le Bourget is over there somewhere. If I raise my view, I can see it. We're all good. How are your terms of profile? We need to concentrate a little bit here, fella. Can't just get away with crossing your fingers and praying to the gods and hoping. You have to do some shit. She's a little sensitive in pitch. I think I mentioned that at the start of the video. That's for sure. We might take a stage of flap. We're going to guess that we can. La Tour Eiffel comes into view, the River Seine and all the other landmarks. Iconic Paris. I've heard that word iconic a lot in recent times. Whenever you... Yeah, the opening ceremony was interesting, wasn't it? Those of you that availed yourself of that. And my apologies here, folks, for making you seasick. I'm barely touching the yoke, and she's a little sensitive in the old pitch. I've got to say. What am I doing up there? Getting a little bit of height, artificial height. We could all do with a bit of that from time to time. Le Bourget, runway 03's over there. There we go. I don't get to Paris very often. Virtual sense. Give himself a squiz out the side. There we go. Beautiful. What's happening with the views? Something messing up here with my views. Right, we might, what are we, flaps 15? What are the flap settings on the Learjet? 8 and 20 and down. Oh, the views are horrible here. Something's going horribly wrong here. We've got a hell of a rate of descent and we need to start a right-hand turn. We might take gear, because we can. Something's wrong with my view here. There we go, that's better. 2-3, this is going to have to be a sharp turn on the final. 200 knots, our VRF is about 110, something like that. I'm going to fly through this extended centerline if we're not careful. I'm going to take another stage of flap in a futile attempt to get down. Magenta coming in. Slowing down now. Oh, horrible experience with this bobbing in the pitch though. I only apologise, folks. Alright, down to 180 knots. High, fast. We've got another stage of flap. We do. We busted through a few flap extension speeds. 2 whites, 2 reds for mine. And we've got a crosswind. Gonna need some more juices. Now we've got all the boots laced, etc. Frame struggling as we get closer to the ground. With a few objects being rendered. That wind's turned into more of a headwind. I like that. 140 knots. Try and get ourselves trimmed right. Yeah, we're struggling for performance here in terms of the frame. She's stuttery. Anyway, folks, I'll take this opportunity to say thank you for your company again in another flight and for your continued support. Very much is appreciated. Nice to be back with you again, making some videos. Don't know how often I'll make them, but when opportunity knocks, I'll try and keep opening the door as often as I can, folks. Runway 03, Le Bourget, Paris. Here we go. Oh, she's very pitchy. Here we go. We're on, folks. Welcome to Le Bourget.